life, we often find ourselves paralyzed by uncertainty, doubt, negativity, and fear, unsure of which way to turn or whether we should move at all. And this sense of paralysis is something almost everyone experiences at some point. It's the feeling of being stuck in a cycle, unable to break free from the grip of self-doubt and insecurity. But what if I told you that these very struggles, this tension between doubt and desire, can be the very thing that propels you toward discovering who you truly are? Carl Jung, one of the most brilliant minds in psychology, believed that true personal growth doesn't come from avoiding fear or uncertainty, but from confronting and understanding them, by facing the shadow of our unconscious mind. Jung introduced the concept of the shadow, those hidden, suppressed parts of ourselves that we often deny or repress, the aspects of our personality that we feel ashamed of or frightened to acknowledge, but which are just as much a part of us as the more acceptable traits we present to the world. According to Jung, the shadow isn't something to be feared or avoided. It's something to be integrated into our conscious selves. Because the parts of ourselves that we hide from the world are often the very aspects that hold the keys to our personal growth and transformation. But how do we confront this shadow? And what does it mean to truly become your true self in the context of Jung's teachings? To understand this, we must first realize that most of us spend a large part of our lives living behind a mask, the persona. The persona is the outward face we show to the world, the roles we play to gain acceptance, love, or approval from others. But this mask is not the whole of who we are. The persona, as Jung suggests, is often built to satisfy external expectations and societal norms. And while it can serve us in the world, it can also prevent us from knowing ourselves on a deeper level. The problem with living behind a mask is that we begin to lose touch with our authentic selves, and in doing so, we start to feel disconnected, unfulfilled, and lost. Jung believed that to become your true self, you must be willing to look beyond the persona, to confront those aspects of your psyche that you have repressed or ignored, and to accept the full range of your humanity, both the light and the dark. This is where Jung's idea of individuation comes in, a lifelong process of integrating the unconscious with the conscious mind, of becoming whole, of making peace with the parts of ourselves that we have previously denied or rejected. Individuation, Jung argued, is the journey toward self-realization, a journey that requires courage, introspection, and the willingness to face our fears, our insecurities, and the unknown parts of our psyche that we may not want to acknowledge. The path to individuation is not easy. It requires the courage to look deeply within and to embrace the parts of ourselves that may be uncomfortable, painful, or even frightening. But only by doing this can we free ourselves from the constraints of the persona and live more authentically. Now, you might be wondering, how can this apply to our everyday lives? How can we begin to take action and move toward becoming our true selves when we are overwhelmed by self-doubt and fear? This is where the ancient wisdom of Stoicism offers a powerful complement to Jung's psychology. The Stoics, philosophers like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca, believed that while we cannot control external events or the actions of others, we can control our responses to those events. And it is in mastering our own responses that we find freedom and clarity. The Stoic approach to life is one of acceptance and resilience, a focus on what we can control, our thoughts, our actions, our perceptions, and an understanding that suffering, pain, and fear are not to be avoided, but to be confronted with grace and wisdom. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, famously said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." In other words, the challenges and obstacles we face in life are not barriers to our growth. They are opportunities for it. This Stoic mindset aligns beautifully with Jung's philosophy of individuation. Both teach us that the difficulties we encounter are not just hurdles to overcome, but essential parts of the process of becoming who we truly are. When we encounter doubt, fear, or uncertainty, instead of running from them, we should lean into them, reflect on them, and use them as stepping stones to greater understanding and self-awareness. The Stoics taught that we should not be slaves to our emotions, but rather masters of them. And by practicing mindfulness and introspection, we can begin to see our fears and anxieties for what they truly are. Not threats, but invitations to grow and expand. Jung's concept of the shadow teaches us that by bringing light to our darker sides, we can unlock our potential and heal from the wounds that have been holding us back. And the Stoic practice of acceptance helps us to face those aspects of ourselves without judgment or fear. But how do we start? How do we integrate these teachings into our daily lives? The answer lies in the practice of self-awareness, self-reflection, and conscious action. Start by observing your thoughts without judgment. When fear or doubt arises, take a step back and notice how your mind reacts. Are you trying to avoid the discomfort, or are you allowing yourself to feel it fully? The more you practice this awareness, the more you'll be able to see how much of your life has been shaped by unconscious beliefs, external expectations, and fears, and the more empowered you will be to start making choices that align with your true values and desires. Remember, becoming your true self isn't about perfection. It's about progress, about being willing to engage with the full complexity of who you are, to embrace both your strengths and weaknesses, and to move forward with courage, even when the path is uncertain. So the next time you feel paralyzed by doubt, fear, or uncertainty, instead of retreating into your comfort zone, take a moment to reflect. What are these feelings telling you? What can you learn from them? The truth is, these moments of discomfort are not signs of failure, but signals that you are on the right path. They are the very challenges that will help you grow, heal, and move closer to your true self. Carl Jung would argue that the journey toward becoming your true self is a lifelong process, and that every challenge, every obstacle, is an opportunity to integrate another piece of your shadow, to evolve into a more whole, authentic version of yourself. And the Stoics remind us that it is in the face of adversity that we have the chance to exercise our greatest virtues: wisdom, courage, temperance, and justice. And in doing so, we become more aligned with our true nature. So if you're feeling stuck, unsure, or overwhelmed, know this: you have everything you need within you to break free from the chains of self-doubt and fear. The key is to embrace the process, to keep moving forward with mindfulness, and to trust that the journey, no matter how difficult, will lead you to the person you were always meant to become. Your true self is not some far-off destination, but a continuous process of unfolding, of discovery, and of integration. It's time to stop running from the parts of you that you fear, and start embracing them, because in the end, the very thing that holds you back is often the thing that can set you free. So step into your true self today, with courage, with honesty, and with the unwavering belief that you are more than capable of facing the uncertainties of life and emerging stronger, wiser, and more authentic than ever before. It's time to stop being a stranger to yourself, embrace the journey, trust the process, and become who you were always meant to be.